feel very remorseful. Very remorseful. Sometimes I really feel ashamed. I really feel ashamed that I would try to move on now into a new relationship, knowing that there are some issues that I had that I ain't even addressed. I'm talking about, after, the abuse of that relationship, and I try to move on into another relationship.
Yeah.
But I ain't never settled them issues. Them issues are settled now, but I really felt bad. Now today, although we are on another level of friendship, with my ex-wife, we're on another level of friendship. We laugh and joke about the things that happened in the past, but she's still hurting. She laugh and joke, so she's still hurting. And for real, she's hurting, I'm hurting too, man. Not saying that I want to be back in a relationship with her, but when we laugh and joke and say some certain things, sometimes a tear comes to our eye and I see it, and I feel bad about that. When she tells me she can't trust a man, I feel bad about that because I know I'm the cause of that. So I still feel a lot of remorse for what I did to her. You have any other questions? All right, thank you. Okay, so when a woman is not happy at home and her husband fails to see this, she feels that he's not paying her attention. So now this is how women think. If he's not paying me attention, he don't love me. So once a woman starts thinking that her man don't love her, her husband don't love her, she feels alone, betrayed. So it opens up to start doing things, to start thinking about doing things. I'm gonna take this call. Thank you for calling the Cheatologist. You have a question?
Yes. I'd like to know, how do you feel on people, a gay relationship that cheats as well, but they also prostitute themselves as, I guess, as being out there with men as well. That's cheating in two different forms.
Okay, what's your question? I'm sorry?
I'm like, how do you feel about women doing that to one another? They say they don't like men, but yet they're cheating with men, but yet they're also cheating with women as well.
Okay. So you're saying women who are in relationship with another woman, and she say, "Oh, I can't stand a man. That's why I love you, baby, and I'm only going to be with you." And, oh, men disgust me. Yet on the other hand, she's still dealing with men and she's dealing with the female.
Yeah. What's your take on that?
Well, obviously, I mean, it's still a relationship. It's confusion. I'm going to tell you that. That's a whole bunch of confusion. But it's basically the same thing. It's disrespect. It's disrespect. You're in a relationship with someone, and then you going behind their back and you dealing with somebody else. And the fact now that it's a woman who says she don't like men, but yet she sneak around with men, that's a whole bunch of confusion.
Yeah.
So if a woman, the other woman who's caught up into that, of course she need to address that situation or leave that situation. Because if them concern, what you want to know is, why are you constantly lying to me about not wanting to be with somebody, yet you still being with them? That's just like a man being with his girlfriend, but he's still seeing his ex-wife. And she said, well, you left her to be with me, but you still being with her. Why don't you just be with her? That's confusion. You confusing me, you upsetting me, and And sometimes that's when the women want to strike the man and all, or strike the other person, because it really starts getting like that. People get angry.
Yeah, emotions always get involved.
Yes. And you know, emotions always lead to violence. If you can't control your emotions, it always leads to violence.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for calling. Okay. People need to understand this. Life is not about, although it happens a lot in life, if you get into a relationship with someone and you want an exclusive relationship, then you need to be ready for that. You understand what I'm saying? Don't say, I want to just be with you, but on the other hand, you got 5 and 6 other women that you're telling the same thing to, or women telling the man. It's the same thing, because that stuff leads to the violence, the escalation in the violence and the relationship violence that goes on, that we constantly be seeing on the news at night. Man kill his ex-wife. Or another incident, a man beat up his girlfriend for hanging out in the club with her other girlfriends, and he thinks she's cheating, but he was drunk, and he apologized for beating her up, but it's too late because he killed her. You know, that stuff that's happened. I'm not making this up, but this is what happens with the confusion that's going on in relationship. Your woman wants you to be loyal to her because she wants to be loyal to you. But how fair is it for you to be disloyal and expect her to be loyal? Thank you for tuning into the Cheatologist. You have a question?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yes. How can I help?
Okay, look, what do you do when you are in love, you show you're really in love, but because this person has been hurt by men in their life, they don't know how to treat a man that really loved them?
So what's your question?
I just asked you that.
You said, so how do you show a woman that you love her?
What I'm asking you is, how do you put yourself? It's not my problem that the men you had in the past created you, or the men in your past was real problems.
Yes.
And then when you meet a man that's a real man, because of your past,
you don't trust
you
her.
abuse the man that's really trying to show you he loves you. What do you do with that situation?
Okay. The first thing is to sit down and talk with her. Okay, because before you came, there was issues and problems that she had in her relationship that she never dealt with. She just swept it under the rug and just moved on into a relationship with another man and never dealt with them issues, never dealt with them concerns that was troubling her about her other relationship. She just thought that moving into another relationship would make it better and make them other issues and concerns go away, but she never addressed them. So you love her, so the thing is for both of y'all to dig into, you're gonna have to dig up the past. You're gonna have to dig up, both of y'all go into her past and see how the relationships damaged her. Because the relationships could have emotionally damaged her where she'll never trust a man again. She'll act like she love you, she'll act like she trusts you, but on the other hand, she'll be like, I ain't gonna trust him as far as I can throw him. But because...
Now what you said, all that is true. But what I'm saying is, when you're the man, and you don't really want to deal with this situation,
so
you love the woman. You love her with all your heart. But, sometimes I'd rather get hit with a bat
Oh, wow.
Because that bruise will go away. Then a bruise from your past that hit me in my heart and hurt me.
Okay, so that's
What I do with that?
Okay, so that's when you see what we fear moving on. We fear change and we fear moving on. If the relationship is not productive and if it's not growing, if you're not happy, if you just content in the relationship but you're not happy, two different things. Being content means you just settle for it. Whatever happens, okay. If you're happy, you're happy. If you sad, you sad.
Yeah, I ain't got time for that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So what you got to do is really sit her down and address some concerns to her. Like, look, I love you, but it's not fair that whatever happened in your past, you blaming me for. Or as soon as I do something, you say, you just like so-and-so. And you just like, so, because tell her, if you don't believe me, if you don't trust me, then you need to move on out this relationship. I need to move in my direction and find somebody else who's going to appreciate me.
Okay, can I say one more thing?
Yeah, go ahead, talk to me.
Okay, one more thing is that because you've met a bad man, and because you've been through, even if you have met two bad men, don't mean that all black men are bad men.
Yeah, absolutely not.
And when you meet a good man, you judging a good man on the bad man, and you cause problems.
Yeah.
It's just problems that I'm not willing to deal with right now.
Yeah. So the best thing to do is, I'm telling you, bro, you got to do this. You have to sit her down and you have to tell her this. Have you told her this?
I've tried it, but we can't even sit down and talk because when we get on the topic, oh my God, it gets turned all around, and I'm trying to.
Then the relationship, then you have a problem relationship. And if you have a problem relationship, you won't be happy. Now, that's unfair to you that you want to stay in a relationship. That's a problem. You're not being fair to you.